Off the plan apartment values fall. Let's have a look. Hello everyone, Florian.heise here, and welcome to another episode of HeiseSays. I have my stein of coffee, and I thought we would have a look at this article from domain.com.au discussing off the plan apartment values and how they are, well, falling. Now, I have a few concerns with off-the-plan purchases. As an architect, I appreciate the fact that there are significant changes in a project from when you do the initial plan to when you build it. Some of those things are unavoidable and completely unexpected. They're latent conditions that could appear on site and make drastic changes. There could be other factors that could influence the project that are completely beyond your control or planning. And essentially, you're taking a gamble buying off the plan. That you'll get what they promised you, that the value of the property will still be the same, and that the company won't go bust during the process. It's very different to going and buying something that's already been complete. You can go and see. I still remember a builder telling me how a developer was putting all these nice fixtures and fittings in a showroom, and I walked around and had a look, and it looked very pretty. It looked nice. I tend to leave all the tapware and things like that up to Rachel to pick. But then, what they were doing, they were getting these European products copied in China and put into the apartments. And these were high-end apartments, some of the most expensive ones in Brisbane. And what they would also do would get the architect to tick off on the product that was coming in. So, you know, everything but the Wells rating and all these other standards. So you just gotta make sure you're getting what you're shown. Just make sure. Be a little vigilant, everyone. So this doesn't really surprise me that this is happening, given the current market that we're in. Unemployment is, well, at depression levels. The global economy has ground to a halt. Trade is being affected. International education is being affected. Property purchases are naturally not immune, no matter what everyone tells us. And off the plan, particularly with all the construction issues we've had in units these last year. Opal Tower, Zetland, Mascot, Sugar Cube, to name just a few, Verve in Newcastle. Why would anyone be buying off the plan, guys? Please explain to me why. I don't understand. I would much rather, and I guess it's just me, buy a falling down house and fix it up over a long time. You know, it's much easier for me to replace a stump than it is to go to a body corporate to repair some concrete cancer. There's a tip for you guys. If ever you're looking at buying an apartment or a unit in a complex, go into the basement, look up at the ceiling. Look to see if there's been any signs of concrete cancer. Look to see if they've repaired it. When we were shopping with my mother, I was asking someone about, are there any issues in the building? The guy just said, yeah, there's concrete cancer all throughout there. And I went down and I saw where they were repairing it. The agent wouldn't have told us. Maybe the lawyers may not have caught it. So let's have a look at this article, guys. Off the plan apartment values, or off the plan apartments fall in value, leaving buyers shortchanged as the illness hits. But weren't we reading just yesterday another article where they were saying that buyers need to be nice to people selling? Don't take advantage of them. Maybe the same thing needs to happen here. The developers need to be nice to the buyers. Sure. Buyers of off-the-plan apartments are beginning to bear the brunt of the illness-led economic downturn, with some struggling to settle on properties bought at the height of the market. According to a range of industry sources, some are now scrambling to secure finance, others are trying to find new vendors, and some are even walking away altogether in order to avoid bigger long-term losses. Well, that's the thing. That's to come a point where you just walk away, lose your deposit, because you may lose more. I mean, if you bought one of these as an investment, what chance are you going to have renting it now? It's going to be tough. And then if you get someone in there, what if they're a troublemaker? What if they decide not to pay rent? What if they're on hashtag rent strike? In one worst-case scenario, a buyer who paid a deposit on an off-the-plan apartment valued at $646,000 in Melbourne 18 months ago has recently been informed it was now worth only $500,000. $500,000, guys. That's a significant hit. Foster Ramsey, finance principal, finance broker Chris Foster Ramsey, said losing $146,000 or the equivalent of 15% value in a property would take years to recoup. But property always goes up, everyone. This is the thing with Australia, really is obsessed with property. And I don't blame them. I don't blame them. It's the media. It's what everyone's all the TV shows. It's everywhere. Every article you read on news.com, it's about such and such made a killing in property. I was the same. I was there thinking, why am I struggling in this, business, building up, hiring, dealing with staff, all the red tape, when I see, just employees buying one property after another, shooting up. And so it makes sense. Perhaps this is why so much of the wealth of our nation is tied in property. It's a big chunk, guys. It's something it's a concern in many ways because it destroys innovation and investment in other parts of the economy, or it disincentivizes it. It will take conservatively 8 years to recover because there are so many apartments in the building. The whole building has to go up in value, he said. That's assuming there's no repossessions within the building. That doesn't write values down. Well, there you go. 8 years, guys. That's property always goes up. And what about inflation? He said many properties that were bought off the plan at the height of the market had valuations that were shaky at best and were now being settled in a market downturn. Well, here's the thing, guys. The buyers wouldn't be complaining if the valuations were higher, if they were real estate geniuses. And that's the thing, guys. It's an investment. There's an element of risk in every single investment you make. Everything. Even bonds. Even gold bars, even silver. Everything has a risk. Property has a risk. Have people forgotten that? Maybe people have never been told that. Maybe your friend, the real estate agent, didn't tell you that. He said many properties... Oh, we're reading that. Mr. Foster Ramsey said more and more off-the-plan buyers who settled in coming weeks would find their valuations fall short of initial expectations set 18 months ago as the economic fallout of the illness deepens, adding it could be the tip of the iceberg. Just think about this. Evaluate, and you're settling 18 months, a year and a half later. In a rising market, you're a genius. In a dropping market, the developer's the genius. And these off the plan, everyone had to have heard the story where the developers can kind of tear up the contracts and find a way to get out of it and then resell the properties when they're at a high value. There should be clauses in these for the buyers. If there's a change of more than 5% in the valuation, they can get out and receive their deposit back minus the change. I don't know. Do you think any developers would sign on that? Would that encourage people to buy off the plan? It's going to become more and more problematic, he said. I think in this particular market, we're heading down this path in highly built-up areas of Melbourne. There's an element of a ticking time bomb there. Kim's Conveyancing Works licensed conveyancer Kim Adams said she had a number of clients beginning to face problems when it came to settlement as social distancing measures ramped up in the middle of March. This is regardless of the fact they've entered the contract 18 months ago when everything was rosy, Miss Adams said. Once the effect of the illness hit, their circumstances changed in that moment, she said. People lost their jobs. Clients who had pulled out money from their super, they were $40,000 short of what they expected to have on settlement, she said. I've had quite a few clients struggling from settlement deadlines. As conveyancers, we're scrambling to help our clients because their costs are rising each day. In another case, Miss Adams found an off-the-plan buyer had also been shortchanged since the illness downturn began because their small business had also taken a hit at the same time. The buyer doesn't want to commit to this contract, but equally doesn't want to lose her deposit, Miss Adams says. Well, that's life. Sometimes you got to cop the loss. Welcome to the grown-up world. Oh, wait, we'll just see the government will roll out another stimulus package to save all these people. What's another $500 billion in MMT? Money printer goes brr, everyone. We're calling on vendors to be a little bit lenient in regard to penalties on purchases. There will be more people in this boat. There are so many units out there where people have entered contracts off the plan. There are so many units. Maybe people are realizing buying one unit in a box of 100 or in a block of 100 or 200 isn't the smartest type of investment, because you're always competing with the people in your own development. It's nothing unique. Meanwhile, other buyers who cannot settle on their properties have tried to sell their properties on to new buyers, according to Good Design's Chief of Staff, Jesse Summons. We're seeing buyers novate contracts. It looks like you're buying off the plan, but your contract is with the original purchaser, she said. Ms. Summons said she's also seen an increasing number of buyers willing to forfeit their deposit and developers extending sunset clauses. We've seen a lot of buyers contact us about either pulling out of sales or who want to pull out of sales, she said. Some have pulled out purely for the reason they believe or expect the market to tank. They don't want to commit to anything. So there you go. They're people taking the losses and walking away. We expect a lot of developments will extend sunset clauses. We'll see that in 12 to 18 months because of delays of material arriving from overseas. Well, that just goes to show our dependence on imports for a lot of our construction industry. Do you think this will be a wake-up call for our civilization? The market was running so hot at the time of putting down a deposit, they felt pressure to make decisions quickly, but that has dissipated. UDIA National President Simon Bashir said the industry was watching the market for economic consequences of the illness. There's no doubt we are potentially moving into a more subdued period, but we also see governments, regulators and banks maintaining vigilance over the continued flow of credit to borrowers, as well as settlements and imminent transactions, he said. This will also need to include working with the valuation industry and financial institutions to ensure a balanced approach is adopted on how they assess project developments and new homes where the capacity to undertake physical inspection is constrained. Well, I think we're seeing reality settle in. I think some of these off-the-plan buyers are going to get a very, very nasty surprise. And, well, maybe this is just the beginning. Remember, how long has this been going on? This was written yesterday, this piece. What will happen in 6 months' time? I just saw a video done by Martin North about mortgage stress. How that's growing and growing and growing. This isn't a normal time, everyone. AB property isn't always going to go up. Let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comments below. Would you buy off the plan? What would they have to put in place to allow you to actually take the risk? Thanks for watching, everyone. Please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. If you're a fan and you want to support us, there are a few ways you can. You can join the channel on YouTube or on Patreon for a small monthly fee. You can support us via our affiliate links at Amazon or eBay. We receive an advertiser's commission that doesn't cost you anything. You can use our referral links at Independent Reserve or Kucoin if you're a crypto trader. You can send us gold from Perth Mint using Gold Pass. You can buy our merch from Teespring or the HeiseSays blog. And we have PayPal if you want to contribute that way. Thanks, have a great day, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye for now.